The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
And welcome to the Writer's Block Podcast. I'm Mandra Bisquenay, and I believe everyone has a story to tell. What's yours?
Deborah Monk, empowering you to find your creative voice.
And I'm Shelly Devlin, inspiring you to find your why.
So we all think most of the time that summer's going to be a great time to get some projects done.
Yes.
Right? We're going to have all this extra time.
We're going to sit outside and work on the deck.
We might have a lighter work schedule. We can take that writing project on the plane or the car ride that we're doing.
I can't tell you how many times I've carried my computer and it's sat.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you can't go without it.
You can't.
Like, I can't go anywhere without it.
But you can go and then not work on it.
That's an option.
Does that still count, though?
No.
No.
Okay.
The intention is there, but no work gets done. So I think that's what happens. If you have children, they're home from school, so that extra time ends up being spent on other things. But now it's fall. And a lot of schools started either last week or this week, and people are getting back into a schedule. And so we're going to fall into writing and get back on that horse, set some goals, prioritize, and get back to our works.
Back to focus. I know. I'm feeling more focused just by sitting here.
Right? So whether it's your writing project, whether it's taking a section and saying, okay, I'm just going to finish this section, or I'm just going to edit this section. We are going to talk today about how to prioritize and schedule and even maybe get back into class. Yeah. Get into some writing classes to motivate you.
I have a couple ideas for our listeners.
Let's hear
For myself personally, I am going to make the commitment, and the writing retreat that I went on in North Carolina last year, I'm going to be going on again this year. She hasn't given me the exact dates, but she's working on finding the beach house now. So my commitment is the deposit will go down within the next 4 weeks. So my spring writing, which will be, are you ready? Hold on to your seats, which will be book 2.
No.
Yes, because book 1 will be done.
No, you're sure?
I'm positive.
Oh my gosh. So
Jonathan
I'm
is dying.
not buying it for
You're not buying it?
second.
talk
I
about
didn't
putting
hear
it out
Jonathan
there
in my head,
Shel.
and then all of a sudden it came in loud and clear.
His
Yes.
face was kind of glowing neon over there.
Yeah, because it'll be April. So book 1 will be done by January. And some of the book 2 is started. So book 2 will be at the writing retreat. So it'll be right on the beach in North Carolina. Deposit done. That's my fall into writing. My commitment's made. My check's written.
Yep. So you'll be set for April, and book 1 will have to be done.
Well, it also
Well, that'll be commitment for that.
Well, it also sounds like she's committing to the fall that her book number 1 is going to be done. That seems like an almost bigger commitment than the
spring writing retreat.
Right.
Yeah.
The end of fall, like possibly when snow's flying. Is that still considered fall?
Yeah. What's winter? December 21st? Something like that?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. I like it
then.
So you're saying you're going to finish book 1 in this fall, by the end of the year.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's done. It'll be done.
Well, boy, we
can't wait for that launch show.
Yeah.
Seriously, right? And then I have a few other things. So one of the times that Deb and I had gotten together, which she bucked the system on this one, and we did an adult ed community course at a local school in Derry, and it was the 6-week, writing little blast. And I ended up not going to half the classes because I was traveling for work.
Shel, that's not helpful with our commitment.
I know, but I made Deb commit. And then, Deb, tell us, seriously, if you didn't go to that class, you wouldn't have 3 new friends that sometimes trump Mandra and I.
That doesn't happen.
No, I don't think they trump you. But I have found, because by going to that writing class, I found another writing group and actually we're meeting tonight. We meet every 2 weeks and they're invaluable to me. No question, 100%. So by going to a writing class, and the class was fine and we did learn things, but more important than that was I met other writers.
Right. So exactly. So your intention was to learn something out of that class. You maybe grabbed a couple of nuggets here and there.
No, my intention was not to learn something from that class.
Right. I said, she was dragging her. She was going because I was going.
Yes.
And then I dumped her half of the classes.
I went with the intention of finding other writers. Yeah. And so that was what I went for.
So going to a class, which you found through community rec, community ed rather, which pretty much every town and city has. You may get some writing skills.
Yep.
Right? Did they edit some pages? Did you guys work in groups, do any of that?
Technically.
Okay. But you also found a new writing group.
Right.
And that was 6 weeks, and I think it was $80.
Right.
Around $80.
So it's really affordable.
So I mean, super affordable for that particular one. And I think it was like, it's 2 hours a night. It was like 7 to 9 or something like that.
Yep.
But I found a few through the Newburyport Adult Community Education that I thought sounded better.
Okay.
Now, Newburyport, those are $220.
Wow.
But that's still
okay
super
for
reasonable
weeks,
for a
right.
class. Yeah, for weeks. And this one, these don't start until October, which I think is fabulous because that gets September out of the way and
Right.
we can get a fresh start. But they're 2-hour sessions. They're on Wednesday nights from 7 to 9. They begin October 2nd. But there was one called Getting Started as a Writer for our new writers that are listening and wanted a jumpstart. They need more than us. And then the Writer's Workshop, which I thought sounded really good too. It was lessons on plot, character development, point of view, editing, revising. And then they would do some in-writing classes too. During the class. You could do the writing there too.
Yeah.
Some exercises. So like you said, every community has them.
Yeah.
So just kind of do a little research.
Well, and I think it's so easy to say, well, I'm going to, I should. But tell us how you found these classes in case Newburyport's not convenient for someone. But how easy was it for you to find these classes?
Google.
What'd you put in?
I put in adult education classes or community education classes. And I wasn't finding a ton, in the area. So you might have to stretch, but there's a ton in Boston too, which is only an hour. So,
Right.
But
And
easy,
Google's
super
certainly
easy.
not the only one. You could call your town hall. You could call
Library.
the schools.
The library
would be
library
great.
has a huge listing too.
Right. So I think the point is sometimes just knowing how to take that first step, because once you read the class description, you start to get excited.
Yeah.
So sometimes the first step is the hardest.
Are we just going to overlook the obvious way to start writing?
Oh, Lord.
Just going to skip over this and make
feel
all
some
these
Jonathan
fancy
sarcasm coming
plans
on.
Well.
and spend all this money.
And is that you should just start writing?
Set your alarm clock for 30 minutes earlier than you normally do. Get your ass out of bed. Get in front of the computer and write for 30 minutes.
Well,
Every day.
you know what? That's
No questions asked.
That is very good
That's coming
advice.
from a man.
It's over.
Right there, right?
At that
It's
point.
coming
There's
from a
no
man.
planning. There's no, I had to wipe a tushy. There's none of that. You're just writing for the 30 minutes while everybody's sleeping. It's perfect.
That
You're
is
welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. We can
Show's
wrap
over.
that show
Cue.
right up. Another obvious
Well.
one is how about set your alarm clock for Tuesday mornings and listen to the Writer's Block, and we will be
touche.
part
Ooh.
of right after you listen to us,
Sit down and write.
sit down and write.
There
Well,
is
and
something
that's
to
sort
be
of-
said for listening to podcasts on the specific topics that you're into, and it gets you jazzed up and
Right.
ready to rock and roll.
Right. It's a little shot of, energy.
And then, so what I did is for those of us who have too many things going, who have a lot of things going at the same time.
Help us schedule.
Yes. Now, there's a new thing. I don't know how old it is, but it's called Kanban Planning, which is often, I believe it originated in business, but now people use it for decorating their house and for all different kinds of projects.
Kanban, like how do you,
Kanban.
Okay.
And what it is it helps you to visually see your projects and break it down into manageable bite-sized tasks. And I did this. I took a friend of mine told me about it actually, and it's basically a visual task board, and then you use stickies, which we know are my favorite things, and you
Yes.
color code them. So I went and bought
Is that why
myself.
the entire hall
Yes.
is filled with just stickies
Yes.
all over
And
the
you
wall?
thought she was redecorating.
You thought yes, because theoretically it's a board,
It's like
and you
there's
can
30 hot pink paint swatches here. What is this?
yes.
And they're all the
going on here?
same.
Why is
Yeah.
there writing on them?
And I took a picture of it, so I'll post that today. When I first started, I didn't feel like a board. Like I got some big
She needed a whole
boards.
wall.
I took a wall.
Yeah,
I took a
whole
blank
wall.
wall.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going up the side of the stairs. And what I did is I broke it down into the different projects that I'm working on. The thing that it made me feel that it helped me so much is I find that I waste a lot of time, mental energy, just keeping track of everything that has to be done. And so this project, having this board in front of me helps me record and store the ideas. So then it's out of my head and I don't have to keep thinking, oh, I wanted to do a video in a sunflower field. Okay, I have a video list and I just take a separate sticky and I put sunflower field and I put it up there. And then I don't have to think about it again. So it can keep you focused, which is a great thing, but it can also improve your work quality because you're able to focus and dive into something.
So Deb, is it it's a system that you create? Did you actually make the visual, or is it in an app or like an Excel spreadsheet?
I believe that you can have it on, I'm 90% sure that you can have it digitally as well. Mm-hmm. Of course I don't. Stickies work for me.
Me too.
Yes. But when you're trying to switch back and forth between planning and doing, it's cognitively very taxing and makes us less effective. And so by doing this board, it really made me see what my priorities are. So when I put the board up, I put the wall up. I then took another sticky, put it on the very top, and I said, these are my 2 priorities. And so by doing that, I'm able to see, okay, that's what I should be working on. Sure, these other things may need to be done, but they're not important. Mm-hmm. And I just can.
So is it color coded by priority, or is it color coded by like subject, like videos or one color?
That's how I did it.
That's how you did it. But people could obviously do.
Kanban is all over the internet. I just did a quick Google search. Yes. There are apps. There are things you can put into Excel spreadsheets. You can buy boards.
You can get.
Right. So people who are more apt to do something on their phone.
It's a thing.
It's a huge
very
thing.
Easy. Yeah.
Right. A friend of mine who works at Fidelity, I believe, she's the one who told me about it, because I was saying I'm so frustrated. I feel like I'm in my own head a herd of wild Mustangs. Ooh, sunflower video. Ooh, new book idea. Yeah. Ooh, met this woman on the beach.
No, you're just a squirrel.
Yeah. And so it really has given me a lot of peace and confidence in, okay, everything is kept track of. I don't have to keep reminding myself sunflower fields are going to close within days. So I'm finding it to be very, very helpful and very effective. The other thing that they do emphasize is going to the moving things. There are 3 phases: in process. Oh, I forget what the other one is, and then done. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes there are things that you can't be working on right now for whatever reason. Like I'm waiting for the artist to come back with my newest cover of my Lovebird book, of the Lovebird's Empty Nest. So until I have there's nothing else I can do.
So that just sort of stays.
Yeah, the book has been progress. To the editor.
Yep.
And so now it's just sort of on pause, not waiting for me to do anything. But so it's just there on the board. And so that's in process, but not in the doing pile.
She's become so relaxed at home that I swear sometimes she's become a hippie. It smells like patchouli oil. She says man all the time. It's going to be okay, man.
It's in process, dude.
Yes,
it's okay.
Just get a surfboard and just go live your life.
Oh, see? Surfboard.
That's going to be on the board.
That's definitely on the board. If it isn't on the board,
hippies have longer hair, though. I don't know how that's going to fly.
I have wigs.
I was just going to say, I can hook her up.
Yeah,
but that's good. I mean, there is a lot to do. Even, on any one project, whether it's writing or something else, there's so many pieces to it. So it sounds like this just keeps track of everything for you, so it's out of your brain.
If you're spending
and either in
more
your
than
phone
5 minutes prepping your life to prep your life, I think you're doing it wrong. So spend a little time planning it out and make your little message board however you're going to do it, but don't make that board an item on that board.
Oh, no.
Agreed. Because you can suck up a lot of time.
Slap it together, get your outline, stick to it, set your alarm clock a half an hour earlier, and get to friggin' work.
Yeah. The other thing people do, I think, sometimes is they go buy a nice new planner. And it's so inspirational, and it's so pretty, and it sparkles, and it glitters. And they're like, this is going to change my life.
Why did she look at Shelly when she said that?
I know, right? Because it was inspirational.
And sparkly.
And sparkly. Yeah, but I've seen this. And so people are like, I'm really going to get organized. Look at my new planner.
Yes.
And I'm still working out of an old planner, throwing in new pages. And you can go get a new planner, but if you're not going to do set the time aside to do the work, it's still not going to organize your life.
And you know what the funny thing is? I literally had bought a leather light pink planner that I had ordered online because I wanted to be a certain size, and it was coming from China. And it took a long time. I was waiting, thinking that's going to help me. Exactly.
Yeah.
But then I can't see it all at once.
Right.
And then I'm trying to flip the pages, and I'm putting stickies in the thing. So I never really got it going. For me, the board is just so much better. And I completely agree with Jonathan. I did spend a day or two setting it up with my different colors. But now that it's up there, it's just, I feel like it's sort of all the thoughts in my head. I can see them all at once. And so for me, that really worked.
When we're going to have a problem in our marriage is when the side thoughts start going up the railing and the back wall gets taken up with other thoughts.
Then she moves into the
project
bathroom.
ideas for 2021 goes on the closet door. That's when I'm going to have to draw the line.
He was not great. He doesn't care at all.
Yeah.
But see, Deb, I would have to take a picture of your wall and have it with me because I'm not home enough to have my planner not with me.
Well, then you would use your phone. Right?
Yeah.
It sounds like most people probably use Kanban on their phone.
And the planner can work.
Oh,
it can definitely work
absolutely,
because it's a form of that is just.
Yes, it's really
But you just can't get too wrapped up in the planning
process.
and the
No, the book isn't going to change your
pretty.
life. Getting the stuff out of your head and putting it on a day to get it done and check it off is going to change.
And I think the other piece is finding some sort of accountability. You know, if you can get up 30 minutes ahead of when you normally get up and that's your 30 minutes, then that's great. If you're not that person because, it's so easy to sleep in, or if I get up 30 minutes, I'm going to go work out instead of write, then maybe you need an accountability partner. Maybe you need a group. Maybe you need something.
She somehow manages to put this in. I feel like she's asking for one. The accountability.
No, I'm not asking. I have one. It's our group.
I'm wondering if we're not holding her accountable enough.
I think she's subliminally trying to say that Deb's not getting up early enough because she hits the snooze button 30 times. So my thought is I could be her accountability partner and I could just get a little thumbtack, just give her a little boop, and then just encourage her to get up and out of bed.
Yeah. No, I think our group does that.
Okay, good. Yeah. It just kind of crossed my mind. I thought, is she asking us to do more?
No, I would say I'm one of those people that for whom the summer did not work well. And we took a little, there was a lot going on and vacations and that sort of thing. So I definitely am ready to fall back into writing. I don't know that I need a schedule like Kanban quite yet, but I need to get back to having some pagers for you ladies to read every 2 weeks.
Now, if you other two ladies need an accountability partner, I do get up fairly early. I could just give me a key to your house. I'll come in with an air horn.
What's fairly early, Jonathan? Because my alarm goes off at 4:30.
Oof.
I wake up at between 4:30 and 5 with no alarm every day.
Alarm, yeah.
And then I make the decision as to whether or not I'm going to sleep in a little more. Like this morning, I had only a little bit of a grocery list to do so I could sleep in a little. It took another half an hour.
Yeah.
But Deb will tell you, no alarm for the last 3 years.
Yeah. I don't use an alarm either.
I just say what time I want to get up.
Yeah.
And I get up.
I automatically wake up.
You don't need an alarm and you just tell yourself what time and you wake up?
If it's an odd time for me, like we're going to the airport very early or something like that, yes, I will set an alarm because I don't want to miss that. But for the most part, no, I want to get up at 6. I get up at 6. I want to get 5:30.
I set an alarm, but I'm awake before the alarm goes off.
Boy.
No.
Why is it so impressive when she does it and I do the exact same thing and it's just so passé? The Mandra, the goddess, she does it. Holy crap.
Because she lives with a god like you, Jonathan.
She never once called me that.
I have.
She said God, but there's other things that follow it.
God damn it. Anyway.
All right. Well, I think those are some great ways to fall back into writing, whether it's a class, the Kanban scheduling, writer's group, just getting back into the swing of things. And then like anything, once you make it your practice and your routine, it will just keep flowing.
And of course, there's always the pumpkin spice to reward yourself.
There's always that fall pumpkin spice, yes. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. And be sure to check out the Writer's Block NH Facebook and the Writer's Block podcast on your favorite podcast catcher. If you'd like to hear this episode again or share it with a friend, you can head on over to the UnitedPodcastNetwork.tv. That's UnitedPodcastNetwork.tv. Thank you for listening, and we hope to inspire and empower you to tell your own story.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.